Hey guys, I know it has been a while since we last spoke, a long while, and I'm going to explain to you why in just a second here. If you hear noise in the background, that's my AC blowing because it's just so hot in the car. And plus, I wanted to talk to you guys without the kids because the things that I'm about to share with y'all is a very sensitive topic for them. Bad allergies. Sorry about that. So first off, remember when I shared with you all that I was going to go back down to Louisiana after I've had time to cool off and go collect my children? I did. And remember, I explained to you guys it was probably going to be a very dangerous thing to do because of what this family could try to do to me, including my husband, because he's helping them. And it is. It's a very dangerous situation, in fact. But remember, I told y'all I was going to do this and trust God. Well, I did it. And I trusted God. And I have my children. You guys understand what I'm saying? You guys hear me? I have my children. See, here's how the devil works. Satan can accuse you all day, every day long. But God knows the truth. You know what I'm saying? God knows the truth. Satan can accuse you all day long. Satan can terrorize you all day long. Satan can try to break your spirit. Satan can try to get you to be at your lowest of lows. But as long as you trust God and you just keep on keeping on and you stay steadfast, you will win because God always wins. And I didn't know. I honestly did not know, guys. I honestly did not know, guys, how real demons are. Like, you know, in your mind, you know what you know, but then you always have a doubt in the back of your mind. Like, is that real? Like, are those real? Is it real? Like, I had those thoughts in the back of my mind many, many, many years ago about spirits and demons. And let me tell you, my experience has shown me that demons are real, okay? Demons are real. And they get inside people because people make agreements with Satan unconsciously. And once you make an agreement with Satan unconsciously, all kinds of demons can just enter in and walk in and get you to do whatever they want you to do. Because all these demons are doing is carrying out Satan's plan, okay? They are children of Satan. So they're just walking around in human beings, creating havoc, problems, all kinds of madness, all kinds of craziness, performing all kinds of evil, getting people to lie, steal, hurt, getting people to do things to other people because they are hurting. Like the saying goes, hurt people, right? It's just crazy. Like, okay, so let me back up a minute. Look, my husband got into a fight with me because I cleaned out the refrigerator. Now, mind you, I cleaned out the refrigerator because there was spoiled food and old food in there, and it had to be cleaned out because if I didn't clean it out, we were going to get sick. My son, my husband, we were going to get sick. So I cleaned it out. Now, there were 2 cartons of eggs in the refrigerator. One was spoiled and one was still good. Now, unconsciously, I accidentally threw away both, okay? Now, in my mind, I'm thinking the good eggs are still in there, but I guess I threw them away. Unconsciously, I guess. Just wasn't paying attention or just forgot or whatever. And my husband goes in the refrigerator to go make his eggs, and he asks about them. I said, they should still be in the refrigerator. And he comes back to the room and he goes, no, they're not in there. And he's not saying it in a nice way. He's saying it in a very angry, boisterous way. He's he's all worked up and yelling and cursing and just talking to me all crazy and sideways. And I pleaded with him. I said, please just wait until I work these tickets and I will get to you and get you what you need. So I finished up my ticket, and then I walked through the hallway to the kitchen, and I asked my husband, I said, hey, do you need anything? And he goes, no, I don't need nothing. You know, just still in the attitude, all that. I was like, okay. So I went to the room, back to the room. I put my shoes on and I went to go grab me some Sonic because I had a 15-minute break, and Sonic is like just down the street. So I went to Sonic to go grab me a breakfast burger and came back to the house with my breakfast burger, and he was all mad and upset and angry and belligerent and pissed off and yelling and cursing and carrying on. Now, mind you, this man does not eat fast food. So if I had said, hey, you want Sonic, he wouldn't have wanted it. And mind y'all, I asked him before I left the house, was there anything that he needed? He said no. So he's mad that I brought the Sonic home and didn't bring him any, which is crazy because he doesn't eat fast food. That man don't want no dang on Sonic. He want cooked food. But I asked him if he needed anything. He said he didn't need nothing. He didn't say, hey, can you go by the store and go get some eggs? He didn't say none of that. He didn't say that he needed anything when I asked him if he needed anything. But here he is yelling and cursing at me, belligerent, loud, boisterous, just very angry, very nasty. And then after he leaves the room from where I'm at, now mind you, I'm at the computer trying to get back to work from taking my break to go get a breakfast burrito. He leaves the room after he does all this. He goes into the room where he gets high at. So I instantly get up and I go follow him, and I say, and I get in his face. I get real close in his face and I say, I'm sick and tired of you disrespecting me. I'm sick and tired of you treating me any kind of way, and you're not finna be doing this to me anymore. And so he didn't like it. So he grabbed me. You know, he's sitting in the chair and I'm standing up in front of him in his face. So me getting in his face, that's a threat to him. So he grabs me. And he manages to get himself out of the chair. Now, he's stronger than me. Now, mind you, this man is stronger because he's sitting down, I'm standing up. You see what I'm saying? But he still managed to get himself out of that chair while grabbing me. And we tussling back and forth. He bends my wrist. My left wrist by this time is really sore. It hasn't started to swell up yet because we're still tussling. It's, you know, the physical altercation is fresh, you know. And we tussling back and forth, and then I grab the iron to intimidate him to let me go, but he makes me drop the iron. He's still tussling with me. We're tussling back and forth, and then I get out of breath. Then he gets out of breath slightly. So then we take like a 3 to 5 second break. Like he lets me go, and then whatever. And then he walks up toward me and he's all like, do something, blood, do something. So he grabs me again and he's tussling with me again. Now by this time we're back into the room that I was working in at the desk. And he's yelling and cursing and carrying on, talking about this, that, and the third, talking about you can get out. Just all kind of crazy stuff. Like he's telling his wife and the mother of his kids that she need to get out over a carton of freaking eggs. Over a breakfast burrito that he doesn't care much about. So that's how you know that's a demon, right? Like if you fighting your wife and the mother of your children over something like that, that gotta be a demon, right? That gotta be a demon. Satan got his hand all up in that. So after we get to the room and we're tussling in the room, I try to get him to calm down. He doesn't want to calm down. So I turn on Facebook Live. Now, mind you, I turn on Facebook Live because I don't want to call the cops on him. I don't want him to go to jail. That's not my goal. I really don't want him to go to jail. So I'm using a different scare tactic to get him to calm down. Like maybe if people can see on Facebook how crazy you acting, maybe that'll get you to think twice about what you're doing and get you to stop. But he wasn't stopping. So I had literally about 30 seconds worth of Facebook Live recorded, and he's just crazy, talking crazy, carrying on. He's taking my things, he's throwing it outside, he's putting it in a box, he's telling me to get out. His mother jumps on live with her nosy self, And she calls him to ask him what's going on. Now, mind you, he's not going to tell her the truth. He's going to tell her a portion of the truth, and then he's going to mix it up with a lie to make it sound truthful. You understand what I'm saying? So she's going to automatically take his side because that's her son. Whether if he's wrong or not, right or not, telling the truth or not, lying or not, she's going to take his side automatically. She didn't call me and say, hey, Shantae, what's going on? Are you guys all right? No, she called her son and asked him what was going on. So the fight is over. I get rid of the live because I didn't keep it up because that's embarrassing to just keep it up for everybody to just sit there and watch it. I'd only use the live as a scare tactic to get them to calm down. So that day goes by. Now 2 days go by after this incident, and I go out. I get up early in the morning. I go out and do orders. It's about 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. I leave and I decide to go do some DoorDash orders because I need some extra money. You know what I'm saying? The car need gas. The car need things. We need food. We don't have no food stamps. So we need money for at least a day or two worth of groceries. And I need money for gas to put in the car. So I'll go and do DoorDash orders. Now, toward the end of my shift, because I picked a 4-hour shift from 6 in the morning to 10. Toward the end of my shift, it's about 9:30-ish. And he calls and he goes, so what's your plan? And I'm like, what plan? You ruined my credit. You ran my credit into the freaking ground. Like, where am I going to go? You know, like, it's not like I have somewhere to go because you already ruined my name and my credit. So it's not like I have any major plans to go anywhere. So he's reaching by this point. You know what I'm saying? He's reaching. He's saying, what are your plans? Because in his mind, he's thinking, oh, I'm going to just leave him. Because he don't want me to leave him. He don't want me to leave him, divorce him, nothing. And then he don't want to be left to be paying all these bills by himself. So he's just reaching, you know? And I go, the last time I shared any information with you, it blew up in my face. So I'm not telling you nothing. And then I re-explained to him again, because you ruined my credit, I don't have anywhere to go. So how am I going to have any plans? So then he's all like, F this man, you put me in this effed up position. Now, mind you, he's flipping, okay? Pay attention. He's flipping. And he's saying, I'm putting him in an effed up position because I don't have no plans. How does that make any sense? Because I don't want to tell him nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So then he hangs up. Then 5 minutes go by. He calls again. I answer and he goes, well, you need to get out and you need to be figuring out where you about to go. And I was like, well, the smart thing to do and the right thing to do is to let Sean, our son, my son and his stepson, finish school, and then I'll leave. I have no problem leaving. If you want me to leave, I'll leave. I'll get out of your hair. But let the boy finish school first. You know, that's the right thing to do. And he's like, nah, you need to leave now. And you need to pay me the $275, half of the rent. And in my mind, I'm like, so I gotta leave. My son, who's innocent, he gotta leave. So at this point, we gotta go to a hotel and be homeless because you want to be vindictive, you want to be inconsiderate, you want to be a jerk, you want to be a jackass, and you want to find out some kind of way to hurt me to prove a point. But that at the same time, you expected me to pay $275 for partial of the rent, but I can't stay. Like, I'm not finna give you no money if I can't stay. That makes no sense. And I've already paid the first half of the rent anyway. I paid $600 toward the first half of the rent. So I got to pay again, and you paid nothing, but all you paying is a quarter of the rent, and I got to pay $75 of the rent and still leave. That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. So when I get back home and I'm done door dashing, I go and I confront him about it. I said to him exactly what I said to y'all, that don't make no sense. So you still expected me to pay and I gotta leave. That makes no sense. So no, I'm not giving you any money. So he didn't like that. He didn't like that I confronted him. He didn't like that I had something to say about that. He didn't like that I was standing up for myself, and he didn't like that I was putting him in his place. So he got up yelling, cursing, mad, belligerent again. Just like 2 days ago, he grabs me again. Now, mind you, we go to the room where I work in the room at that I made an office and where we sleep at. And he grabs me again, and I'm like, Justin, please get your hands off me. Please let me go. Stop it. And he's like, no. blah, 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 blah. He's carrying on. I was like, Justin, please get your hands off me. You were squeezing my sore spots that you created from 2 days ago. Please let me go. He's like, no. And he's carrying on and carrying on. He literally tries to knock me down on the floor, but instead he knocks me down onto the bed. And he's squeezing harder and harder on those sore spots that he already created. So bruises he already created. My daughter's calling. I'll call her back. And so I'm like, all right, forget it. Since you don't want to stop, you don't want to calm down, you don't want to, I'm going to just call the police because you just out of control. You're out of control. Like, you're hurting me and you're not stopping. You're out of control. So I'm just going to call the police. So as soon as I said that, he let me go. And then he's all grabbing his things, racing to leave. I call 911. I read off his license plate to the dispatcher or whatever. And he's fled. You know, he's leaving the scene or whatever. The police finally get there and they take my statement, my story or whatever, and they ask me what happened. I explained everything to them the same way I explained it to y'all. And they gave me some kind of purple paper, some domestic violence numbers to call. Ain't nobody arrested him. 2 days go by, mind y'all. 2 days go, I mean, not 2 days, 2 weeks go by. No arrest has been made. I have pressed charges. No arrest has been made. So he's still walking around free, doing whatever. His family is coming over by the house trying to kick me out. Now, mind you, this house that we stayed in, his mother was subletting to him and I. They coming by the house, his mother and sister trying to force me to get out. Just being like hella evil and vindictive and like being very inhumane about what they're doing. And they have came by probably the whole entire time and until I had gone to my first court date, because I had put a protection order out, and that's how I got the court date. And that's also how I got my children, possession of my children, because they wanted to keep me away from my kids. So the whole like 2 weeks they're like coming by, harassing me, telling me I gotta get out. They taking pictures, recording videos, trying to make false accusations about me, all kind of stuff. Trying to provoke me, just bothering me, harassing me, terrorizing me, just harassing me nonstop. Now, mind you, one of the few times they came by, he was in the truck watching his mother and sister just taunt me, harass me, terrorize me. And this grown man who is married to me is allowing his family to do these things to me. So, to make a long story short, after I had called the cops, when the second incident happened and I had called the cops, the police officer said, you do know you can go get your kids, right? Because I explained to her my in-laws have my children and they're holding them hostage. And the cop goes, you do know you can get your children, right? And she said, it's going to be okay. You got a job, you got a vehicle, you got everything you need. Just utilize your resources. So I went to go take a nap because I was exhausted. So I finally get from my nap. And what the cop said to me just was marinating in my mind. So I'll get my shoes on and I get up and I go get my children. First, I go get my oldest son from my mother-in-law's house, and wasn't nobody there. So we left. Then I go to my sister-in-law's house to go collect my other 2 children. And nobody was there at first. My husband's truck was parked in his sister's driveway. So I was like, oh, this is where you left and fled to, you coward. You know, like, okay, I see where you at. But I'm not really caring that his truck is parked there. I'm just there to collect my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because this cop said, hey, you can go get your kids. That's your right. So I'm parked. I'm thinking about how I'm going to go in there because I'm not trying to create a scene or anything. I just want to get my child. So I go in there. She's in there doing her hair, talking about, Mom, I got a party to go to. Something she was talking about. I was like, girl, get in the car, get your hair stuff, collect 2 days worth of clothes, and we'll talk. I'll explain everything to you later. We'll talk about it later. She didn't want to go. My husband, I don't know how he got in there. Maybe he was already in there or something. I don't know. And he's like, you can't do this, blood. You can't take kids. You can't take her. You can't do this. And then my sister-in-law get in there and get involved. My mother-in-law pop up. She get involved. So I guess they had just rolled up from the store or something because they just popped up out of nowhere. And they're all like, you can't take the kids. You can't do this. You're involving the kids. These are my kids. What do you mean I'm involving them? They're my kids. Y'all holding my children hostage and y'all say I'm involving the kids. Y'all are holding my children hostage, so I'm coming to get my kids. You know, like, so they call the police on me. Now, this is Shreveport. Like, our incident happened in Bossier City. But now we're in Shreveport because that's where my kids were at. my in-laws call the cops on me, and the cops is telling me I can't get my kids. Well, when the Bossier City cop just told me I can go get my kids. So I'm mad, pissed off, whatever. I drive off after this whole scene go down. Now, mind you, before I drive off and before they call the cops, it's like 6 or 8 of them in the fucking driveway. Excuse my language. All of them against me, one person. And then my son, he's standing by the car, and I tell him not to get out the car, but he gets out the car anyway because his natural instinct is to try to protect his mom. So he's standing by the car. So it's like 6 or 8 of them against 2 of us. And like, they're like standing guard and trying to stop me from getting my kids. And they're calling the cops on me for me coming to get my children. Something that I have rights to do. Something that the Bossier City cops said I have a right to do. Like, I'm not kidnapping any children. Those are mine. And my husband and I are married. Like, he's not my boyfriend. He's not my baby daddy. So I'm not kidnapping any children. So the law protects me just as much as it protects him. So I was not kidnapping, but apparently these Shreveport cops said I could not come and get my children, you know. So I leave and I go file a protection order a few days later. And I wrote everything in there that happened. I talked about his substance abuse, his manipulation, his lies, his sexual abuse, his financial abuse, his how he uses his mother, especially his mother and his sister, as tools to bully me, to control me, to terrorize me, whatever they, you know. And the mother, she has this very sick possession of my children, like this very sick obsession and possession over my children. And this woman has gone through and is going through great lengths to try to get my children, and has gone through great lengths to try to keep my children from me. And they have tried to paint me out to be an unfit parent when I've been the only one out of my husband and I who have worked and kept and managed to have a job. And my husband has never worked a job. He always sat around the house getting high. He never participated in helping pay bills. He never participated in helping take care of his own family or help his mother out. All these things. But I'm the only one who managed to keep a job and work hard, but I'm the unfit parent. How does that make any sense? Like, y'all painting this false narrative about me as a parent and saying that I'm a horrible parent. And then y'all listen to the lies that he tell y'all, talking about I can't do it. I can't take care of the kids. It's too much for me. It's overwhelming for me. When the truth is, it's too much for him and it's overwhelming for him. And he doesn't tell people these things about these private conversations that he has with me behind closed doors, is that he can't take care of the children, that it's too much for him. He can't afford it. Okay, but the children have 2 parents, right? Like, there's me and there's him. The kids have 2 parents. So if the one parent can't do it, the other parent can, right? Shouldn't that be how it's supposed to be, especially if the couple are married, especially if it's a married couple? We are married and these are our children together, but you can't take care of them financially or mentally or emotionally or whatever issues you got going on when you be getting high and you going through your emotions or your issues or whatever. So you just decide that since you can't take care of them, you just gonna give our children to your mother and your sister. But you don't talk to me about it. You don't have a conversation with me about it. You just stepping on my toes. You overriding how I feel. You're overriding shit, and you're just making decisions to give our children to your family. But you didn't have no conversation with me about it. You didn't ask me how I feel. You didn't ask me what I wanted. You didn't ask me what I wanted to decide. You didn't ask that. And then before I was forced to leave Austin, because this is a whole nother story I'll tell y'all in a different video, I was told in the beginning to let my children stay in Shreveport for the summer. I'm like, cool. You know, because what parent is going to say, no, you can't stay with your grandma. No, you can't stay with your aunt. Ain't no parent going to say that. I'm going to support that because I've always been a very big person about family. I've always been very pro and big about family because it's something that I didn't have growing up. I grew up in foster care. So I didn't have this strong family support system that my husband has, and I wanted my children to have what I didn't have. So I always had my children around his family. I always had my children deeply connected to them and around them because I wanted to give my children something I didn't have. And so of course I'm gonna be like, yeah, y'all can go stay with your grandma, aunt for the summer. I'm not gonna say no. So that's how they lured me into having my children down there. This was their whole plot and scheme and ploy. So once they get my children down there for the summer, then summer is ending and school to start for the new year's approaching. Now they're trying to manipulate me and talk me into saying the kids can stay for the school year when I clearly said they could stay for the summer, but they need to come back home to Austin. So here my husband goes. He's working on me. Now, mind y'all, he's working on me because the first few times he asked me if the kids could stay for the school year, I said, no, they need to come home. I'll let them stay for the summer. They need to come home. So he just asking me. He asks me and I say no. He asks me, I say no. And he's asked me at least like 10 to 15 times and I have said no. And around that last time he asked me, I finally gave in and said yes. Only because we had a credit situation and we couldn't get a new place to stay because our credit is ruined. So by this time we're stuck in a hotel. I'm waiting on the tax return to come so I can pay off the debt and get the place. Because that's all I had to do was pay off the debt and get the place with the tax return. But the tax return came like a week later than I was expecting it to come. So before the tax return money showed up, I got sick because I have IBS. I ran out of cash, so I couldn't keep paying for hotels. So my whole entire plan crashed a week prior to it supposed to be working out. So this is going in my in-laws' favor and my husband's favor because they want those kids to stay during the school year, okay? So now I'm at the point where I'm having to talk to him and work things out with him. And he's like, why don't you just come stay here? You can get better. Your IBS can get better. You know, you can start saving up your money, yada, yada, yada. All the bullshit talk, right? So I finally agreed to go down there. I agreed to let the kids stay for the school year because by this time, my credit is shot. We can't get a place. And my debt still had not been paid off. And the tax return money had not came yet. So now I'm in the mindset of like, dang, my plan did not work out like it was supposed to. And the tax return money finally did show up, but it showed up after I already agreed to let the kids stay for the school year. And I wasn't going to pull the kids out of school, so I was just like, fuck it, you know, like whatever. So then he talks me into taking all of this money that we received, and he's like, let's go get us some Verizon phones. And my little stupid butt, you know, I'm like, all right, because I'm already staying in Bossier, and the kids are already down there in Shreveport and in Bossier, so fuck it, let's just splurge and blow the money. And so we spent it on Verizon phones and watches and all other kind of BS that we didn't need, and then some other like stuff like bills and stuff that we needed. And then we were trying to save some money to get a place. But to make a long story short, I'll tell y'all other parts of the story later. But that's what happened so far. Now I'm in a hotel. My mother-in-law went through great lengths to have me on a fast track to getting evicted. And she had me evicted in under 5 days with 3 kids. She took the refrigerator. So she really tried to make things hard on me. So I could just give up and panic and give up and give my children back to her. But I'm not giving her my children. Those are my kids. Since when did I ever want to give up my children? And since when did I ever have the mindset or the heart or the mentality to neglect my children and throw them off on somebody else for somebody else to take care of them when I'm perfectly healthy, breathing and fine and working and fit to take care of them myself? Like, why? But anyway, she had me evicted in under 5 days. And so now I'm in a hotel. My money is getting sucked dry like water. And these hotels are very expensive. I have to keep my children fed. I have to pay for these hotels. I have to keep gas in the car. So this whole hotel life is just expensive. It's more expensive being homeless than it is to just have a place to stay. So that's the position I'm in now. I knew that me going back to collect my children was going to be dangerous. Remember I told y'all when I was in the Bay Area in California that me doing this, I was going to have to learn to tread water lightly and just trust God. But I did it and I made it through and I have my babies. And I had an idea that something like this was going to happen, where they were going to try to make me homeless, to try to paint me out to be unfit and say that I can't care for my children, when the person who really can't care for them is my husband. And if he's married to me, he should be working with me to take care of our children rather than working with his extended family against me, the person who is fit, the person who is sane, the person who loves him, the person who is there for him. Like, why are you fighting me? Why are you working against me? And why are you working with your family to try to take our children from me And why are you throwing your responsibility on your family when it is your responsibility to care for your own family? And why are you using your mother for money and asking her for money and doing things to her, and then having her believe that I'm the reason that you're doing this, when really we all know I'm not the reason why you're using your mom for money and hounding her and these things. But I'm out of this abusive relationship, you guys. He can no longer pressure me to have sex with him. He can no longer spend up my money and ruin my credit anymore. He can no longer lie on me and manipulate the situation to his benefit. He can no longer work with his family to paint me out to be like this unfit parent or this horrible person. He can no longer do these things to me anymore. So it is very bad that I'm in a hotel, but it is very good that I'm out of the situation. Like, I'm out of this abusive relationship. He can no longer keep spending my money and ruining my credit. He can no longer keep lying on me and using me and manipulating me. He can no longer keep physically abusing me. He can no longer do all the things that he's been doing to me for the past 10 years. I want to say out of our 15 years of marriage, it's been about 10 years that he's been doing all of these things to me. And after 10 years, I've finally gotten away and gotten out. God is good. Do you guys hear me? The story of David and Goliath, it is live and breathing right now. Like the story of David and Goliath. That is my testimony, y'all. That is my testimony. And I'm sharing it with y'all today to give those people out there who are in the same or similar situation as me, to give y'all hope, to let y'all know there is a way out. God is real. God got your back if you just keep trusting in God, even when things are bleak, low, crazy, scary, horrifying, whatever. God is here for you. And I'm finally going to be moving on with my life. And I'm excited about the new chapter. You know what I'm saying? God got plans for me. And I'm excited about what God has in store for me. I'm excited about what God is going to be doing for me. Well, I'm going to end the video here. But that is what has happened so far. This is where I'm at so far. I have succeeded in getting my children, and my husband and his family can no longer hold my children hostage from me anymore. It is sick that a man who is married to a woman would hold his own children hostage from his own wife. Like, and he would use his family as tools to do it. Like, that's very narcissistic, very selfish, very sick-minded, very twisted, very like it makes no sense. Before I end the video, I do want to say that this man is a 39-year-old man who literally acts like a 6-7-year-old child, running behind his mom. Every time we had a marital fight or argument, he would go and tell his mom and sister about our arguments, telling them our business, getting them involved in our marriage. And every time he needs some, he runs to his mom and asks her for money, asks her for things. When he should be taking care of himself and his own family and doing it himself. Instead, he goes and runs to his mom for help, his mom for this, his mom for everything. The times that he abused me and I had him arrested, he would go to his mom, and his mom would literally sit there and bail him out. Like, his mother dropped $2,500 and bailed him out after he left a bruise on my left arm, and Texas had him arrested. And me, with my gullible self and loving, caring, trusting wife, I believed all the lies he told me about how he was going to work out our situation. He was going to get help, get counseling. He was going to get off the weed. He was going to work with me better. He was going to fix his attitude, fix his anger problems. We were going to go get counseling and work on our marriage, work on our family. He made all these false promises to me, and I believed him. So that's why I worked with the mom and helped him get out of jail, because I believed my husband and I loved him, and I wanted our family to work. I wanted us to work, and I believed all the lies he told me. I believed all his false, fake promises about how he was going to get himself right and get himself together. I believed all that. But this time around, I was just like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm sick of this stuff. I'm sick of all of this crap. I'm sick of you and your bullying, nasty, evil family. I'm sick of you and your lies. I'm just sick of you. And I'm just ready to move on with my life. And he didn't want me to do that, guys. This man did not want me to move on with my life. He wanted me to stay in a house with him, to himself, with my children in his family's house. and he wanted me to just be there so he can have sex with me and continue to get high, and basically just use me to his benefit. Do you understand? He wanted to keep me separated from our children and keep our children in his mother and sister's house and keep me in that house that his mother was subletting to him and I. And he wanted to have me all to himself so that he can conveniently have sex with me when he wanted to. He could get high. He could just do whatever he wanted. And the whole setup was to benefit him, not to benefit me, not to benefit our family, not to benefit his mother or sister, but to only benefit him. And whatever lies he told his mom and sister, they believe him, of course. They believe I can't take care of my kids. They believe I'm unfit. They believe I'm the one who is the problem. They believe I purposefully just want my husband to be locked up. No, I don't want him to be locked up. But if his ass is out of control and he high all the time and he's abusing me, his ass need to be in jail. Somebody need to make him do right. You know what I'm saying? But it's unfortunate. And this woman went through great lengths to break up my family. She destroyed my family. She even shared with the neighbors across the street from the house that she was subletting to us that her plan was to break up our marriage. And if she had anything to do with it, she was going to see to it that my husband and I break up, and that she don't like me. She can't stand me. She hate me. She's going to take my children and all of this stuff. And the neighbor was just like, girl, she was just basically just slandering your name and slandering you and telling lies on you and putting you and your character down, just all kind of stuff. And I was just like, what? And she was like, girl, yes. And I was just like, well, you know something? You're basically giving me confirmation of what I already know about this woman. She's very evil. She's very good at making herself seem like she's such this great person, loving, caring person, when she's really not. She's a good actor. And then behind closed doors, she's evil as hell. Like, And the reason why I'm choosing to get a divorce is not only because of the abuse and the lies and the deceit and the manipulation and the pain, but also because if I stay married to this man, it means I'm staying married to his mother, and I cannot stay married to this woman. Do y'all hear me? Any man who is attached to his mother like that, that is some sick shit, and it's not normal, it's not healthy, and it's not okay. And no woman wants to put up with that. No woman wants to deal with that. No woman wants a man who is still a boy. So this is the lesson that y'all can learn behind my story. Take it or leave it. I'll see you guys in the next video with more information and stories coming soon. I love y'all. Peace.